I think we're live.
We are.
You know how we know now? Because it says right on there.
Because
we're live.
Because we're hooked on phonics, Sue.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Is that a thing anymore?
I don't know. I think that was like a 1974 reference.
Oh,
it's a long time ago.
Are you too young for E.F. Hutton?
No.
No? Okay. That one. I love that one because there's just always that person who like doesn't talk much and then wham, and everyone listens. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's a good reference. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So today we're going to talk about, the funny parts of aging. And Stephanie, I'm going to let Stephanie start because this was her idea. I don't have as funny a one as she does, but I never do, so that's okay.
Okay, so we were in an airport, and I've had a pair of readers, which took me a while to when I realized I couldn't read the menu, and I couldn't I finally succumbed to it and had my readers. And so there's a few funny pieces I think about it. One is I was like, oh, these are great, 1.0. They're kind of like little magnifiers or whatever. And then I would borrow someone's who were like a 1.25, and I was like, wow, this makes things a lot brighter. And then somebody would have a 1.5. I'm like, whoa, those are, wow, you can really see things with these. Okay. So that's kind of been progressing, every pun intended. And we were going through an airport, and I've had these readers that I keep in my purse that I love. They broke, Todd fixed them, put some glue on them or whatever, but they're ridiculous. They're one end is over here. It's time to throw them out. So we're coming through an airport, and we're heading toward the gate, and I'm like, oh, honey, I'll meet you at the gate because I can see these readers on a turn, whatever it's called, right? A display, whatever. So I'm grabbing them, I'm looking, in the little mirror, and I'm trying on different ones. But oh, those are really cute, So I was like, oh, I'll get those. I look at the price tag, $9.99. I'm like, oh, that's really not bad for an airport. $9.99, I can afford $10. So I take them, and I think I was telling you, Sue, I really like them, the look of them. And I'm like, oh, these are a 2.0. I don't need a 2.0, but they're so cute. You know what I mean? I'll totally get them. So the woman goes to ring me out. She's like, oh, do you want a bag? I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to put them right on because I knew I was going to be sitting looking at my phone. No, great. So I put them on or whatever. Do you want a receipt? Yeah, sure. I'll take a receipt. She hands me the receipt. I'm walking away. So meanwhile, I look down now with my new readers. I'm like, whoa, these are really good. I've been wearing 1.5s. I'm like, these are great, And then I look down, $19.99. So I needed the readers to know what I spent. I was cracking myself up. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I probably need a 4.0, but I'm convinced that
Wait, what do they go to? I don't have readers. I mean, I don't need them to read. Although, is there a magnification that it goes to? When people get readers?
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
So here's the thing that I know about glasses or not glasses. First of all, I find that I'm often I can't find the right place. I know it's just something I'm not going to see. I'm not going to be able to see it. But sometimes I need that for a menu.
Yeah, well, and then I'll tell you something. No, that's a great point because sometimes the light is enough. It's a combination of light.
No, but I mean, you remember seeing old people turning?
Me? Yeah, I do.
So now that's me, and I have to, if you're in a dark restaurant, I have to turn it the right way. But the funny
that word again. What's it called? A restaurant? Say it again. Restaurant.
Oh, you're funny. You're very funny. As I'm listening, trying to figure out what you're saying. Yeah, that's funny. So the thing for me is the complete role reversal in my family, which I know that we do it to my in-laws. We do it all the time. We tell them what to do and what not to do because we think it's not safe for them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go there. You're not being cautious enough in COVID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And my kids do that to us, and they do it with the same tone of voice. You guys, what are our rules when we're home? What's everyone doing? And this time they're absolutely right. But in the beginning, when it wasn't 100% clear what the restrictions should be, we were like, yeah, we're going to the grocery store with a mask on. And they were like, no, you're not. We're ordering, we're getting it delivered. And it was really it didn't, I'm laughing now. It wasn't funny.
No.
I didn't think it was funny.
No, it's not funny at all. Well, it is funny that you were telling that story because I thought, wait, do we have that? And I just realized we do have it because my kids have accused us of parenting my parents. They'll come into the room, they'll be like, oh, trying to boss mom and pop up around again. So that rhetoric has been in our house, and I forgot about it till you just said it.
But are your kids old enough that they've turned it on you, or it's just
not quite yet? I feel like we're teetering on it. I feel like we're getting there.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, not younger than yours. They're a smidgy younger.
No, they're a lot younger.
No, but my oldest is as old as two of yours.
Okay. That is true, but my older kids are the ones who are doing
that. Is also
true.
Are
a lot older than your kids. Yeah,
it is all true.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else is there that lets you know? Stephanie and I were just talking on a podcast. I hadn't thought about this in a long time. Well, I mean, I can remember the first time someone said, "Oh, there's Rebecca's mom. Rebecca's my oldest." So I can totally remember when all of a sudden my identity was not like me, but it was in relation to my kid. And that was like a big moment. I can also remember taking my oldest on a college tour and realizing I was invisible. So there are like these moments where you go, oh, there was another one. I went to get, when Borders was open, I went to buy a Yanni tape. I don't even know what it was then. It was probably a tape. It might have been. It might have been I don't know. Whatever we used then. And the guy goes, "Oh, my mom loves Yanni," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So what are do you remember other times where it was like?
Yeah, that's such a brick to the face. Yes, it happened not so long ago. Same thing where they said, well, we have one kid who's always telling us how old we are, like we wrote in on dinosaurs. So that's a standing joke. But I had something happen recently. It just flew through my head, but it was that same thing where I was like, wait, I'm not that old. Or I'll tell you what is super weird.
Wait, let me interrupt 1 second and tell the people that are watching, if you have anything to add in the comments, we love that. That makes us so happy.
So fun. When people say like 1980, then they're like, well, 40 years ago. I'm like, 1980 is not 40 years ago. And then I'm like, I'm decent in math. And I'm like, oh, it actually is. Like, how can 1980 be 40 years ago? Even saying it sounds ridiculous.
Because I think 2000 sounds recently. Like when, recent. Like when someone says, they started at a job in 2020, they've been there forever. I'm like, I mean, in 2000?
Yeah.
2000 was forever ago?
Yeah, I had a baby in 2000. I just had that one.
Yeah, so crazy.
It is the craziest thing. No, it's very interesting. I don't know how our parents felt, but I do know for a fact, like the grandparents of yesteryear, and you compare the grandparents of today and how they look. Like now, my mother-in-law she was a very young mom, and she became a grandma at, oh my goodness, she was so young. She was like 46. Is that possible? She was super young. I can't remember. It definitely started with a 4. Let's put it that way. Okay. And they are so different because just active lifestyles and all that stuff. And when I think about my grandparents, who my mom's parents passed when they were both in their 70s, that is so young now. Like that, just in terms of like it really is different, right? So there's the piece that really is different in what our lifestyles are. And then there's the piece that maybe isn't so different and we're grappling with aging.
Well, I think it's one is like looking at the other end of life and that how it's extended and like maybe 80 is the new 70 or whatever those stories are. The other is looking up from our kids' perspective. And it's their perspective of us is the same as my perspective was of my parents and my in-laws and all of that. Like they just look at us like they're not being responsible enough. I mean, they don't understand the gravity of the situation. And we are going to have to, like, I'm sure they talk about us. Like I mean, I know they talk about us, but I'm sure around this particular topic, they talk about like, oh my God, they're just being so relaxed. And by the way, we are anything but relaxed about this.
Right. Well, and I think the other thing that goes along with that, which is so interesting, and it's probably a whole topic in and of itself, is each kid's perception of growing up in our household. We should do that next week because we've had some funny conversations lately that Todd and I are like, wait, what? Like, what? Now, again, our oldest, talking about how strict we were. We talked about when they were on our podcast, Sue, when we had Jessica and Zach. And there are random comments that come up, from him. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was always grounded. And Tom, they're like, in our house? Really? Like,
I remember.
It's so funny.
One of my kids is home now, and he was telling me the things I did to scar him, and I was heartbroken. They are, in fact, things I did and things I would do again, but like never. Yeah,
we must. Okay, that's an offline conversation.
They're not anything different than other people were doing. It's just that he's literally, like, they've talked about it. They've decided, that's the thing they probably all have agreed they will never ever do. But I mean, it's funny that you're the best parent you'll ever be before you have children. That's all I can say.
So true.
Yeah.
It's so true. I know, it's so hard. But we were talking about this on our podcast we just recorded, but it hasn't been released yet, with Jeff Salingo. About taking each kid to college and changing, with each kid. But it's an evolution. You have to go through it. Here goes.
Okay. Abby says, my teens love to remind me of my age at every monumental occasion. For example, both of my kids remind me that they will be able to vote in the next election. I was like, no, wait. Oh yeah. It's crazy. I mean, that literally there's no debate about your adulthood when you can actually vote in an election. Like, it's such a big deal, Abby.
Yeah. It's so true. One of my daughter just turned 18 this week, so she missed the election by less than a week. She was very bummed. Very bummed, but she will be voting in the next one. I know. So crazy. Well, my kids, we were just retelling this story, Sue. I don't know if you were in this conversation. Maybe I'm with one of my friends. I can't remember. One of the kids, when it was either my niece or my son, asked my father if he came over on the Mayflower.
Were they joking, or they were being...
And my dad, who has a good sense of humor, said, that's ridiculous. I came over on the Santa Maria.
Well, I mean, listen, we can't remember that the year 2000 was a long time ago. So like time today is such a whole other conversation, like the idea of time and COVID. I just don't understand how the days take me from Monday to Friday in a blink. Like, it's always shocking. It was shocking before, and now I can't figure it out. What is so different? I'm having enjoyable things in there. It's not like it's, everything is like terrible but it just seems to fly without any sense of like the day beginning, ending, passing on to the next one.
Yeah. I feel like the statement, there's 24 hours in a day, could be maybe true. Like, I feel like I could argue that I'm not sure it's true anymore.
Wow. Is the earth flat?
The earth is flat, and there are no longer 24 hours in a day. I know, you heard it here.
Wow. That's very exciting.
You and Kyrie. What else do we have for everybody? Our holiday summit was this week.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, a big shout out to Jody Podol and Jessica Port. They did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And we got some really beautiful feedback. And even from, I think the experts enjoyed being part of it so much. So if you did not participate or you didn't get to watch everything, we'll have information for how you can purchase it. It's going to be on our social media. It'll be right here on Facebook. We'll share it with you. But it was really, really good. It was fun.
Yeah, I think next week we have to talk about, I'm going to put it on my calendar to remind us like what people are doing for Thanksgiving, because we'll be a week away at that point.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting because
we have to put out there judgment-free zone.
Yes. Oh my God. Totally. Yeah. So hopefully people weigh in with what they're doing and what those pivots are. Right? I think people are really struggling with what to do.
So I'll just give a teaser. I think I told you last week, we booked the movie theater.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting for us. Yeah.
That is really fun.
But now I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm going to make everybody go in with like wipes to like, really do a thorough job around where we're sitting, and everyone's going to be in masks, and those.
You know what movie you're seeing?
You can pick whatever you want.
Okay. Did you guys make a decision on your movie?
I think my kids have made the decision. And they've shared with me that I will not like them.
They've said that before, and then it's been surprising that sometimes you have.
Nope, never.
Really?
I like light. They like scary.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like scary. I'm still a little kid who goes like this at a
Oh, I
scary
hide
movie.
behind a pillow. That's funny.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Everyone have a great week. Hopefully the weather will hold up for the weekend. We've got sunshine here.
Yeah, for sure. Bye,
Take
guys.
care.